and welcome to another message from the streets. You know, today, man, it was just on my mind, and I want to challenge any and all European Caucasian Americans to justify why y'all think that so-called blacks shouldn't receive reparation when current president 46 is giving people in another country government, that's the Ukrainians, over $40 billion that has been proposed to assist them in war. And that's only the money. Not even, calculating in the weaponry that this administration is continuing to offer in assistance to the Ukrainians. Now, so-called blacks have been in North America under the servitude and the hardships of cruel European Caucasian taskmasters. And then after the so-called liberation by 16th President Abraham Lincoln, the Emancipation Proclamation in 1865, so-called blacks were still been terrorized. Terrorized by who? First of all, terrorized by the propaganda that the government had put out and fed the masses to make so-called European Caucasians think that they were superior and that they were entitled to own people, to utilize other human beings, spiritual beings having a human experience, as beasts of burdens. So we go through this terrorizing, lynching, Jim Crow, redlining, gerrymandering, sundown towns, black codes, and y'all saying that we don't deserve anything. Our forefathers have put in the whole work for over 200 plus years. And the next 200 years, their descendants have been terrorized systematically by the government, employers, just any and everybody that think that they can do anything to so-called blacks. So-called blacks can be on the extinction list because of what has taken place. But, we still thriving and attempting to be citizens, working in the inside of this, construct. And now some of you say, well, y'all doing this, y'all had this opportunity, that opportunity. A lot of opportunities have been afforded. But you know what? You're not looking at that. At the beginning of the race, y'all was already at the 50-yard line, most of y'all people, most of the European Caucasians that was well-to-do, and then the others that were just receiving the so-called white privilege or the entitlement card, y'all on the 25-yard line, and we go running a 100-yard race. Come on, make it make sense. But I know from observing European mindsets, even people that think that they're not racist or they don't have, certain type of disrespect or disapproval of so-called blacks. But when you say something about reparation, you can see the racism in a lot of people or the discouragement because they think that they're being left behind. They're going to be treated unfairly. Hey, it's not our fault that your forefathers, the European Caucasians that are not well-to-do right now, that they didn't take advantage of the system, of the opportunities in a sense, whereas though that you could be well-to-do right now. We never had a chance in those type of settings. We was lied to. The government promised 40 acres and a mule, reparation. All I'm saying again, it don't have to be all money, but y'all owe. Y'all owe us and our children and our children's children, and it's time for America to pay. Pay what you owe so we can get past this. As long as you keep on lying, as long as you try to keep manipulating our minds, as long as you keep on telling them, well, we got to go through this process and this process. You ain't had to go through none of those processes to give you the Ukrainians all that bread. So don't even tell us that. You ain't had to go through all those processes when you had that money for COVID, the COVID situation. You put out checks after checks after checks and money. And that's all we're saying. Let us get ours. Because y'all old, man. We want ours. And like I said, monthly stipends of $1,000. monthly stipend of food, monthly stipend of housing, and monthly, some 20 years of education from your institutions. 20 years, man. 20 years of stipend for housing, 20 years for stipend for food, 20 years for stipend monetary. Hey, we can get back like that. See what I'm saying? So again, this video is about, I want some Europeans to give me a good reason of justification why Ukrainians deserve these billions of dollars and the so-called blacks to help build this junk. To help give this flat, dry place as far as character. Yeah, a lot of that stuff going on. This is America known for, it's because of so-called blacks. In the Olympics, it's so-called blacks. In the sports arena, so-called blacks. Where we have opportunities at, up there. But y'all act like we ain't do nothing. We ain't contribute. Some of our people, they will to do because they excelled in those areas, but the ones that wasn't well to do in those areas still should be left behind. And that's what y'all doing in America. Joe Biden won't even put out the law to make it a hate crime to kill blacks for no reason. So-called blacks for no reason. And it ain't just Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Obama, George Bush, Clinton, Reagan, all of them. We've been being terrorized forever. Many of those administrations actually terrorized so-called blacks. Bill Clinton. Man, I'm going to leave y'all with that, man. But, man, this got to change, man. One.